All right. Welcome back to the Contested NBA podcast. I am Max Tepper. This is Ethan Cope. Say what's up, Ethan.
What's up?
And this is Alex Toma. What's
What it do, baby?
I don't think you should what it do, baby, today.
No,
we'll explain why.
We'll explain
why. Today is August 23rd, 2020. We've had a lot of basketball excitement so far. We told you guys that we weren't going to be back until the second round, but we broke our promise a little bit. And we just thought there was so much to talk about halfway through the first round. So far, every team has played 3 games. Some teams have played 4 games. But we'll get right into it. First, I want to bring up some news. First things first. Over the last couple of days, Nick Nurse was just announced as the Coach of the Year around the league. I think no surprise there, but let's get your guys' thoughts on it.
Deservingly so. I don't really think there's an argument. I mean, to coach your team to the second seed when people thought you weren't going to be as good without Kawhi, which, I mean, we can get into a little bit later.
Which we will next round for playoffs.
But I do think Nick Nurse deserves Coach of the Year more than anyone else. I don't really think it's debatable.
I would agree. I do think it should have been a unanimous vote, to be honest. I'm sure they're going to come out with that. I did see that the top 3, I believe it was Nick Nurse, Billy Donovan, and Mike Budenholzer. But, I mean, I believe Nick Nurse was the clear-cut favorite out of all of them. Just pretty much what Ethan said. Top 2 seed in a conference after losing Kawhi and Danny Green, who was also one of their starters. So, just an impressive performance by him.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, you know.
Yeah.
No. Obviously, just what he's been able to do. He's been able to bring out the best in all of his guys. From the first 3 guys, which are Kyle Lowry, Pascal, and Fred VanVleet, all the way down to the 15th guy. Everybody steps up. So yeah, I mean it's pretty clear. But
6:41 p.m.
No shot. What was that?
Well,
very, very sorry.
I apologize.
it's all right. But some other coaching news we had was also Alvin Gentry
Was
getting fired.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know if you guys saw after he took the reporters that wrote articles about him that he should be fired out to dinner.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
which I
funny.
thought that was interesting. I don't
Pretty
know.
baller.
But yeah,
I'm
maybe
not
he just
gonna lie.
wanted to
I didn't see that.
He wanted to hear the criticisms. So.
I definitely see why. He definitely very much underachieved. He had, I think, the worst defensive team in the bubble, giving up 49 points to Luke Walton's team.
And they also had the easiest schedule.
Yeah.
So that makes his
Yeah, they were handed the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
that
didn't take
makes
advantage
his
of it.
case to not get fired pretty difficult.
I think
Yeah.
he's done a fairly decent job at developing some of the young players. Obviously, he's made it easy for Brandon Ingram to thrive. Lonzo Ball was starting to look a little better this year. Zion Williamson was obviously looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that he wouldn't play him, but that was partially due to the medical staff.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I mean, you did say Lonzo was improving. I mean, he was doing pretty good up until the bubble. And then Zion, I don't think it was just Gentry's decision. Obviously, with the medical staff, they probably came up with that too. But also, I believe like David Griffin was also part of it to say not play Zion fully. So if they were to judge Gentry based on his performance without having his full roster, I get why maybe you want to give him some time next year. But it's like the guys just didn't look ready at all. So
Yeah, I'm not too. It just that's a very weird situation, unfortunately. And we all, the NBA really wanted a Zion versus LeBron playoff battle, but
good thing we didn't get that. That would have been.
I did too, but now,
looking back,
it
you're like that would have
way
been
too easy.
Yeah.
The Pelicans are not even standing a chance in any game.
Oh, I would have preferred it as a Laker fan, but it's fine. Okay, anyways, moving on. So we had the draft lottery recently, and then we saw basically the only important things to know is that the Timberwolves got the first seed, or the first pick.
Warriors.
They're never getting the first seed. The Warriors got the second pick, and then the New York Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, got the 8th pick, which they moved down in the draft yet again. which obviously they can't control, but like, dude, you guys fucking suck.
God
Damn.
I'm sorry. No, I like the Knicks. I want
Cap.
to see them. I
That's
want to see them survive. I mean, I don't like
You
Jimmy
want to
Dolan.
survive? Is that what you guys say?
They don't look like they're surviving to me. I'm sorry. I like the Knicks.
Also,
I like
it's
the
probably
Knicks.
good they got the 8th pick though, because this is like kind of the draft that like no one really cares about.
Yeah, it's probably better because you don't really know who to pick
Yeah.
first. So, but
This
still.
isn't like losing out on number one pick last year with Zion and Ja. This draft is not super promising, but I think the biggest storyline in the draft was the Warriors now have the 2nd pick with a healthy Clay, Curry coming back next year, Wiggins now in the mix, and maybe Draymond will look like a basketball player again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and I don't want to get too much into specifics of like who do we think they're going to draft. It's just it's not really, it's whatever.
The hype in this class is not as much as last year. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely doesn't go really outside the top 10.
But either way, we got time to talk about it, and we got a whole lot of other stuff to talk about. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, playoffs. That's right. Only the NBA playoffs. Anyways, so someone else want to talk?
Yeah, sure. We could
Let's
Well,
go.
where do you want to start?
we could start
go
off
series
You
by
want to start off
series?
by West or East? What are we doing here?
I feel like the East is just more decided, so you want to start off with that?
We
Yeah,
can
we'll go
let's
East. We'll just go from like 1 seed versus 8 seed and just kind of go down the bracket.
Here, let's see. Let's pull it up. So 1 seed is
Obviously,
Magic.
Bucks Magic. Obviously, the Orlando Magic. They're the greatest Game 1 team of all time. So they did blow out the Milwaukee Bucks in that game. And then, of course, you had the people coming out the next day overreacting.
Yep.
But, I mean, the Bucks, I've just kind of blown them out every game since then. So,
Yeah, I expect the Bucks to win their next 2 games and finish the
in 5.
series with the gentleman's sweep.
Yep.
they just was that the first game that was no, but either way, that was one of like the first games that like broke my bracket already because I had the Bucks sweeping
Yeah,
the
I had
Magic.
the Bucks as sweeping them.
But there's some okay. So basically, the Bucks look mighty as usual, except for Chris Middleton, who has not looked good at all over the past 3
Nope.
games.
The Bucks shouldn't be worried about the Magic.
Chris
They should
Middleton-
be worried about the next round.
Chris Middleton looked okay in Game 3, but those first 2 games he was not anywhere near where he should be.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Giannis has had to do all the carrying this series.
Yeah. Oh, one thing though I'll say is like Giannis is. I don't know why I was watching a little bit of one of the games and like Giannis's passing has looked just amazing. Like really, he's able to find cutters quickly, kick out to the 3.
That is one of his strengths. So
Yeah. I never
think-
even, but I knew it was one of his strengths, but like I just never like saw. I never paid attention to it like that.
I also think it's the most underrated part of at least his offensive game is his passing. I think it's very overlooked.
Yeah, I mean with those long arms and he's 6'11", he can see over defenders and he's got he's got everything he needs in his arsenal
except
to like do what he does, except for the shooting, of course, which is only a huge part.
only the most important thing in the game of basketball right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Other than that, it's whatever. But anyways,
Now moving on.
Bucks
to
Magic is pretty much it's
Yeah.
almost
Done.
over. So
I know it's only 2-1, but let's just admit it, guys.
yeah.
It's over.
And then the next one, and also not really competitive series at all, Raptors Nets.
yeah.
I thought the Nets would at least still one game. They did come back from 30 down in the first one to like make it interesting, but after that, the Raptors just kind of destroyed them. And Ethan, you mentioned their bench scored 100 today.
Yeah, their bench scored 100 points today,
That's
which
crazy.
which by the way, the Raptors completed the sweep against the Nets. They're moving on to the second round to face the Boston Celtics.
yeah, we're filming this Sunday, August 23rd, so the Raptors and Celtics have already moved on, which speaking of, we can get into the Celtics series.
Well,
'cause
I
it's
just
not-
wanted to say like we won't really know what Raptors playoff basketball looks like until this round. So
Yep.
anyway, so then we have
the Celtics,
Celtics
76ers.
76ers, which was
that game.
honestly really disappointing.
I would say the games were close in a sense, except for game 2 when the Celtics won by 27. But I think Tatum looked really good besides game 3, because game 3 he was getting to a ton of foul trouble. But Kemba Walker was able to put the team on his back, carry them to victory that day, and then today they won 110-106 to sweep the series. And as much as, the 76ers had problems this year, I do feel like they gave no help to Embiid this series. I mean, Al Horford is... I'm going to just be honest, Al Horford is not worth anywhere close to his contract.
No.
And neither is Tobias Harris.
No, shout out to their agents, though. They did a great job.
Tobias Harris went 1 for 10 from 3 this series.
I don't know, man. Something about that team just looks... It's just really off. Like, I don't know why. Because they had all the pieces. They had all the pieces last season. They have a lot of the pieces this season for a deep playoff run. I don't know what happened, though. I mean, it's not 100% Brett Brown. It's not 100% Ben Simmons and Embiid. It's not 100% Elton Brand. But the fault does lay on all of them.
Yeah, I will say, though, with Simmons there, I think the series goes to 7. I still think the Celtics win, but I actually think that series goes to 7 with Simmons there.
And I also had 6 max. Just, I don't know. It was so uncompetitive. Like, I know Simmons is great in what he does, but I'm not sure if he would, flip the whole script in that series, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. The Celtics just have the better players, the better scorers, the better defenders, the better everything.
Yeah, no one was guarding Tatum that series.
It was just, not competitive at all. And then, like Max mentioned, it's not all on Brett Brown, but it looks like Brett Brown's going to be fired. And I think for next year, the Sixers are they're going to get a new coach, run it back with Embiid, Simmons, see if the new coach can unlock something with them. And then after that, if it still doesn't work out, then I think they get into trading either one.
I was going to say, I think they should fire Elton Brand this offseason for the horrible moves he's made. I mean, a report came out today that Brett Brown was a part of, getting rid of Jimmy Butler, which obviously turned out to be a horrible mistake. And then, what was I going to say? They lost so many pieces this offseason. They were able to retain Tobias Harris, which I thought was a good move at the beginning of the year. And I still don't even think it was that bad of a move. It was just the fact that Elton Brand was willing so easily to give Tobias a max contract and give Al Horford that money, which, looking back, I do think I Jimmy Butler leaving had something to do with those poor decisions. Yeah. But I don't think Elton Brand is a good GM. So I think he should be fired because he's made...
Damn.
I really think they should start from the top down. I think they should just get rid of Elton Brand, fire Brett Brown. I'm sure there are other names that I don't know if that have to be terminated. But,
but realistically, I think,
as a Celtics fan, I'm living right now. Yeah. We swept probably my second least favorite team in the NBA. We're going on to the next round where I'm confident in a series against the Raptors, even without Gordon Hayward.
I just really thought this would... Oh, that's true. We should get into it. But I really thought that Philly would win one game. They would get one game.
Embiid would have one of those games like a 40-20 where
that's what I was thinking. He was on pace a couple times too.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where he'd have 20-10 at least by halftime. I think in games 1 and 2. And really, he just didn't get going today until late. And then the Celtics went on that 19-2 run to end the third, and kind of just fell apart from there. I know the Sixers only lost by 4, but Celtics ain't give a shit the last 2 minutes of the game.
I know Joel Embiid's Twitter handle is Joel do a 180 Embiid, but it really should be Joel I need to play better Embiid because every single time he has a good performance, he's on national TV saying I need to play better. And but it's just dude, play better. We need we know what you can do. Everyone believes in you. Everyone trusts the process. So just go out and play better. There's no reason why you can't be dominating the Celtics when your opponent is Daniel Tice. You should have at least had one 40-piece.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to criticize too heavily because I think
did he have a game where he had 36, but we'll just say it was a 40-piece?
That's referencing
inside joke.
Yeah, inside joke.
But Embiid was really good. But like I said, I was explaining this earlier. Embiid gives up at the end of games when he realizes they're just going to lose. And then he starts chucking up threes, which, I mean...
Today, I don't blame him, though.
Today, it's like, your season's over. Who gives a fuck? But, I feel like adding on to what Max said, I feel like there's something about Embiid where we could just get more of,
Yeah, of course.
And, averaging 30 and 13 through a series of 4 games where the rest of your team barely participates. I mean, their second best player that series was Josh Richardson. And that's not going to get you anywhere. Yeah. Not that Josh Richardson is bad. I think he'd be a good piece off the bench for, like, a championship team. But, like, if he's your second best player, you're not going anywhere. And Embiid just got no help. Shake Milton's a complete liability on defense.
Like, he's just ripping the goddamn Sixers.
Well, I also hate the Sixers, but...
we gotta move on.
Yeah. I mean...
Okay.
Shout out to Kemba.
Next one, we got Pacers Heat, which I honestly thought would be a lot more competitive, even without Sabonis.
Yeah, me too.
All the games have been, most of them have been competitive, but, like, just at the end, the Heat have just pulled away more because they're a more talented team.
They're just better. They're just better. And I just want to point out a couple of, like, things about that team. I mean, so Jimmy Butler is obviously... Everyone on that team is stepping up really nicely. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because I always... rookies always have a hard time. Rookies and young players have a hard time in the playoffs. But I never got that sense that Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson... would do that. And Duncan Robinson had like 7 threes the other day. It was insane. He was going off. And I never got that sense. I wonder if there was a crowd, maybe they would like influence them a little bit, but I think they know their role, and I think that Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler, they imbue so much confidence in them to like just go out there and do their thing. And then you have what is it? Goran Dragic, he's averaging like 23 points over 3 games.
Been really good.
5-6 assists, something like that. He's been really good. And so it takes a lot of pressure off of Jimmy and Bam, and they can save their energy for the end of the game when they can, which they have been pulling away from close games with Indiana. Mm-hmm. Indiana, though, it's just a matter of having a less talented team.
Yeah, I thought they could have maybe like took it as 6. I remember saying the last spot, like I want to say Heat in 5, but like I had like too much respect for the Pacers. It's like who they have on their squad, but the Heat are just the better team. It's probably they might get a win out in Game 4 to not get swept, but
yeah,
it's probably going to be a gentleman's sweep for Miami, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then so here's the weird part though. We are called Contested. We are also known as the Kendrick Nunn fan club.
Only
Kendrick
OGs,
Nunn, only OGs.
Only the 4 OGs
that listened to us before.
Whatever, bro.
Kendrick Nunn hasn't gotten a minute. It's very strange. I get it. He's a defensive liability, but I mean, he's valuable on offense. He's had a great rookie season on the offensive end. So yeah. I don't know what I don't know what it is. Maybe they're saving him.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
well,
I mean,
there's that whole report that you sent, right, Alex? It was
like, yeah, he was playing really bad in the bubble.
Yeah, but you can't.
He also like left that in and out. Oh, it was just
0 though. 0 minutes. I don't know.
That's hard for me to.
Obviously, it's in Spoelstra's hands, and he's very good. He's a little bit more qualified to talk about the Heat than I am. Yeah. But honestly, the Heat, I was expecting a more competitive series. So props on the Heat, props on everyone stepping up, and the Pacers. I mean, it's not. I mean, Sabonis isn't in, and it is what it is. But with that being said, let's move on to the Western Conference. Should we go top down, bottom up? Which way?
Yeah, top down. We can start 1-8.
1-8.
Go down.
Okay. Lakers, Trailblazers.
Do you want to go last or?
No, I'll go first. I'll go first. You know what? Because the Lakers.
You probably have more to say than both of us.
I have a little bit to say. I forgot to mention the white players on the Heat are playing very well. That's Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Goran Dragic. It's just an observation. I'm not, No. But I already mentioned they were playing well.
The Heat's Heat's big three. That little Heat big three of Dragic, Butler, and Bam is underrated.
Very good.
All right,
and I look forward to seeing them against the Bucks. Anyways, Lakers Trailblazers. Lakers suck. They suck. They suck offensively. I mean, defensively, dude, they've been amazing. They've been holding a team that has scored 123 points per game in the bubble to around 100. That's 20 less points than their average. That's really good. But guess what? Their offense sucks. Yesterday they won Game 3. They have a 2-1 lead, but they shot 33% from 3. They can't seem to get their offense going. LeBron and Anthony Davis honestly have been a little bit spotty, but when they have shined very brightly. Especially Game 1, it was not good. LeBron, Game 2, contrary to what people say, had a decent game.
LeBron has been the most consistent that series. I don't really think LeBron has had like a bad game that series.
Yeah, and all the memes from Game 1 are well deserved, especially the one from Complex where they screen recorded the group chat, and the guy is like, what did he say? He was like,
something like,
KCP had 1 point. That's 1 more point than me. What else? He's like, oh, Frank Vogel's just experimenting. But it's real though, man. I mean, they gotta wake up offensively. I don't know what it is, but it's strange.
Yeah, Game 1 was ugly.
But overall, I mean, they're handling business, but it's against the Trailblazers, and it does make me worried because our next opponent, should the Houston Rockets move on, which we'll get to, I mean, that's going to be a tough matchup because they play very fast. And we have to match their style of play. And Westbrook will be back.
And they shoot a lot of threes.
They shoot a lot of threes.
Lakers have trouble on the perimeter.
And we have to, match the amount of threes.
But with this series, I mean, I think it'd still be Lakers in 5. I said that before. I don't know. I don't see the Blazers winning another one.
Maybe. We'll see.
I hope so, because I made a bet with Jacob for $20.
All right, so Ethan's got money on it. I just got Lakers got to pick up their performance. They're starting to. The bubble Lakers are starting to look a little better, but like
the AD Braun combo had a nice Game 3 though.
Yeah, they did very well. And that's exactly what I wanted to see.
That AD Braun performance in Game 3 was what I kind of expected to see pretty consistently throughout these playoffs. Like obviously,
or that series at least against the Blazers.
Yeah, even throughout the playoffs, which I mean, I guess we still have a chance to see that consistently, but not so far in the first round.
And according to the #1 bronzesexual on Twitter, LeBron had a 40-piece triple-double, which is wrong on 2 parts because he didn't have 40 and he didn't have a triple-double. I just wanted to point out how really weird and bronzesexuals are, fetishizing a basketball player. Anyways, so those are my thoughts on the series. Defensively, we're doing great. Offensively, we got to pick it up a little bit more, especially for the next opponent. Let's move on to the 2nd seed facing the 7th seed, Clippers Mavs. If you want to go, or you want to go last. Actually, let's say this for last. Yeah, let's go last because today was a big game. So let's go Rockets Thunder, which has also been disappointing.
I also think we kind of overrated OKC. Looking at it now. Yeah. Like, they're not a team built for the playoffs. They don't have like a consistent go-to scorer. They were like a fun regular season story, but I mean, the Rockets are just a bad matchup for them. And Chris Paul. They
were able to steal a game because Daniel House missed a free throw and James Harden fouled out in overtime and Westbrook isn't playing.
Yeah, that was still a good win for them.
It's a good win. But
I had it going 6, but I don't think it's going 6 anymore.
I had it going 7.
Even without Westbrook, like the Rockets are just clearly.
I had it going.
Team.
I had it going 7-2, and I put the Thunder to win, just because I really like that Thunder team. I don't know. It's really disappointing. Game 1, I think me and Ethan watched together with some of the homies, and that was just a really bad game overall. But Game 2. They did a good job of holding Harden to 21, but the thing about the Thunder is that they're not crashing the boards, and that's really the problem. That's what I need the Lakers to do the next round. It's because the Thunder out-rebounded the Rockets by 7 in that game, Game 2, 48-41. But the Rockets had more offensive rebounds, so they got more plays out of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you have what used to be one of the best rebounding big men in the league, and Steven Adams on your team.
But I mean, that's what the Rockets do, though. Like they just, you would think like maybe sometimes like if you have a center, like he should just eat and dominate them, but it just makes it more difficult for them.
But he could have. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
he could.
But
They need to start
it's a
like
weird dynamic.
you don't just have to out rebound them. You have to out rebound them by so many in order to make up for it, because they're going to be shooting threes all day, and one offensive rebound can cost you 3 points.
And the Thunder usually run small outside of like Gallinari and Steven Adams. And Steven Adams is averaging 12 boards during the series, which is good. Like that's what you want out of Steven Adams. But when like most of the time they have Schroeder, Shea, and CP3 on the court, you're not going to get a lot of rebounds with those three on the court at the same time.
Well, I mean,
with
that's
Schroeder being like 6'4", he's like the tallest of the three players.
No. Shea is 6'6".
Yeah, Shea.
Okay, well either way.
I don't know. The Rockets are just a tough matchup for the Thunder.
I really don't think they.
I was really looking forward to the series too, because I thought this is
again.
I thought this was going to be the most. I thought this and Miami, Indiana were going to be the most competitive.
I thought Thunder Rockets would be more competitive, but I mean,
what you gonna do?
They're a tough matchup for Chris Paul. The Rockets. They have a lot of wings that could switch, and the Thunder don't really have a bona fide give me a bucket guy in the playoffs. So.
Yeah. Anyways,
I think every team needs one of those if they're gonna compete.
Yeah.
So let's move on to. Oh, okay. So let's move on to the Nuggets Jazz, which I thought was going to be one of the more boring series, but it actually ends up being the most exciting, which is actually on right now. But we're recording this, so we'll get.
The Nuggets don't have an answer for Donovan Mitchell.
No,
it's bad.
Hell no.
Donovan Mitchell has absolutely shined in this series.
They have no wing defenders that they could throw at him, especially with Will Barnett, who's probably their best wing defender. And Jokic at the same time. The Nuggets don't have good like perimeter defenders, but then Jokic isn't like some bona fide like rim protector. Like they are seeking him out in the pick and roll, and every time Gobert comes up with that pick, Donovan Mitchell just eats him alive every single time.
Also, even in the paint, Gobert has been. If you've watched the game, Gobert has been eating up Jokic.
He has been,
but that's
he's
where
really been.
That's when Jokic can do the most damage is in the mid-range, I think. Because, I mean, Gobert works best the closer he is to the post.
Yeah.
And Jokic, the cool thing about Jokic is that he doesn't have to be in the post. It's just very strange, but overall that series has been really fun. Donovan Mitchell scored 57 in the first game in an overtime loss, which is shout out to him because that's the third highest individual scoring game in the playoffs ever. So that's a special feat right there.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell has been very, very good.
And then Game 2, Denver.
I think
Game two and three, the Jazz stomped them.
Yeah,
right.
Game one was the
right. I got him mixed
And
up.
honestly, the Jazz had the opportunity to win that first game too.
Yeah.
And there are a couple like bad possessions on their part from going up 3-0 in that series.
Yeah,
so
Donovan Mitchell.
Basically, the Jazz
57.
have like completely blown out the Nuggets, and the only time that they didn't was an overtime game. Yeah, and they didn't have Mike Conley either, who's honestly been looking more like himself.
Yeah. And when Mike Conley came back in Game 3, I think he shot 6 of 6 from 3. And another reason for that is because again, Jamal Murray is not going to defend you. Michael Porter Jr. is not going to defend you.
Michael Porter Jr. for sure ain't defending anyone.
I don't even know who's their starting shooting guard right now with Gary Harris. Oh, Torrey Craig. He could defend a little, but I mean, it's just it's not enough.
And Jamal Murray, I mean, he had 36, right? The first game.
Yeah, something like that.
In the first game?
Yeah,
he had 57 in Game 1. Donovan Mitchell.
No, Jamal Murray.
Oh, Jamal
Murray. Yeah. But we all got big.
Yeah, Jamal Murray.
He's starting to. The thing about him is that he's very inconsistent. He's starting to be inconsistent in the playoffs. Not starting, he has been, and it's just
can't just rely on Jokic for all your offense.
Yeah,
it's just not a big man is just not gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly. And
like
can't rely on him for offense, and then defensively they're falling apart. So I don't know. The Nuggets are a strange team. They're
the
like
Jazz,
really
Jazz
talented and deep, but kind of underwhelming at the same time.
I feel like the Nuggets just
If
They're
they
just
don't
in
win,
like a bad spot.
Yeah.
I think it's more the Nuggets not looking good than the Jazz are looking good.
yeah,
I think it goes both ways, but either way, we'll see tonight how the series goes.
Yeah,
Um,
not to
I'm still
undermine
holding-
the Jazz performance. But
I'm still holding my breath out for the Nuggets, just because that's the safe bet. But I don't know, man. We'll see. It looks like it's swinging the other way. Now, to the most fun one,
oh yeah, so much fun.
Clippers Mavs. Which, by the way, before we get into what was it today? Was Game 4.
Yeah,
So let's just recap. So Game 1, Luka Doncic has the highest scoring playoff debut ever. I think he's tied with one other player. I forgot who. Game
with 42, yeah.
Right. They lost that game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
correct.
Game 2, the Mavs win, and Paul George didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Three,
then
the Clippers win.
oh well, also Game 1,
Paul George.
Kristaps was ejected, wrongfully
Yeah.
so. And then Game 3, I feel like that game, the Mavs just never had a chance. Like after like the second quarter, like it was like 14, and then they got it to 10, and then it was 14 again, and like when it's games
It was
like
like
that,
one of those steady leads that you were talking about the other day.
When you have a steady lead like that, that's just going back and forth for like a quarter and a half, it's not going anywhere. So that game was not for the Mavs.
Yeah.
But that has been a really competitive series. Luka has been, I think in Game 1, he had like 5 turnovers in the first
Quarter.
first like few minutes.
He ended the game with 11
It's exactly how I
turnovers.
expected. I mean, the Clippers would just bitch him, and like it's been fun to watch him get bitched and then climb out of it and like score a whole bunch of points.
Also,
And-
a big storyline. Pat Bev has not been available except only for like the first half of the first game. Oh, actually, he played the whole game just on very limited minutes, if
Yeah,
I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think the Clippers are missing Pat Bev right now.
so
But
yeah.
we'll let Alex talk about that since he's the Clipper fan.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say, like, it's been a very exciting series to watch. Especially I'm looking forward to what Alex has to say.
I'm glad you guys find
After,
it exciting. I fucking hate it.
After game... Okay, tell us about your Game 4 experience.
It wasn't even Game 4. This whole shitty experience started in Game 2. The Clippers should really be up 3-1 right now, and the reason they're not up 3-1 is because Doc Rivers is trying to force shit that's obviously not working. In Game 2, Trez played more minutes than Zubac, and that was a disaster. He had Reggie Jackson starting Game 2, and then boom, we get to Game 3. He starts Landry Shamet, plus he plays Zubac fourth quarter minutes, plus they win that game handily. And then today, they start Shamet again. They're playing Zubac in the first half. They get up to a 21-point lead. And then what the fuck does Doc do? Okay, let's get some Reggie minutes in. Let's get some long Trez minutes in. Fucking Boban comes in. He's 7'4". Trez can't guard him. And he literally hits like 4 post moves in a row. And Doc's just sitting there like, yeah, sure.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. But
It's alright.
yeah, it's all right, but he just I don't know what his deal is. The way the Clippers have lost, they're so. Wait, are you want to make fun of Doc? Go ahead.
Yeah.
He
no,
deserves a
I
slap.
was
don't
making
care.
fun of Ethan because Alex, you and me had like better, and then Ethan was like, "Yeah, but it's just like."
No, but Doc has lost the Clippers both those games so far. Game 2 was a wash, anyways. They weren't winning that, but
So what I'm hearing is Frank Vogel's a better coach than Doc Rivers
no, he's not.
and Brad Stevens.
Oh, get the fuck out of here with that. Hell no.
If you wanted, yeah,
I want all the smoke.
I'd agree. Brad Stevens is a better coach than Doc. Sure.
What?
He was
Yeah,
saying Frank Vogel's a better coach.
No, I
than
said
Doc.
not Frank
I
Vogel,
know.
no.
I was kidding. But
Not even on some bias shit. I think Brad Stevens is the best
Brad
of the three.
Stevens. Doc could be a good coach, but he's too stubborn. In this series, I'm talking specifically. Because I don't know what's his deal with Zubac. And on the last play again today, what the fuck is Reggie Jackson doing on Luka Doncic?
Bro, there's absolutely
There's
no reason Kawhi Leonard should not be guarding Luka right now.
and it's not like it was the Clippers missed a shot and then the Mavs are coming down. This was out of a
Yeah.
timeout. And Doc could have been like, okay, let's put the best defenders out there. But no, this guy keeps Reggie in there. Reggie should not have been there. It should have been at least a combination of whether it's Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I know Pat Bev's not there, so I don't know. Swap in JaMychal Green, even Shamet. Shamet's not a great defender, but
Better
he's
than
not.
Reggie
He's
Jackson.
better than Reggie Jackson, and
Reggie Jackson probably got like Doc Rivers nudes on his phone or something.
no, and
What?
and the
Blackmail, Ethan.
No,
blackmail.
if anyone's oh my God, Doc has something on Zubac. I don't know what his deal is with Zubac, but it's pretty obvious that, like, I know most people probably don't even think this is true, but the Clippers' third and fourth most important players are not Lou and Trez. It's Patrick Beverly and Ivica Zubac with Paul George and Kawhi. Those are the four most important players in a playoff series. Lou did eat today, so I have no problems with Lou, but this isn't Montrez's series. Trez should not be playing much in this series. And honestly, before he came back in the bubble, the Clippers looked just fine running JaMychal Green at the 5. Their offense looked even better, and their defense, in my opinion, when they were running JaMychal Green at the 5 off the bench while Trez was out. So
and Paul George.
Yeah, I was going to mention Pandemic P has a
PG 13%.
PG 13%. Pandemic P.
PG
Fucking-
13% is so good.
Paul, the Clippers traded 5 first-round picks and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for me. George, like
George
I
Paul.
don't know. Yeah, George Paul. That's exactly what he is right now. George Paul, as Skip Bayless said, it's true.
Hey, don't
Paul
worry.
George deserves all the slander he's getting right now. I can't defend
Hold
that
on,
fool.
hold on. Just wait until they face the Lakers, because that fool, for some reason, just loves to go off against the Lakers. I don't know why.
But yeah, I'm just gonna finish up. The mistakes are so easily fixable. It's just Doc refuses to do it for whatever reason. He's stubborn. I don't know, man. If both these losses have been 100% on Doc Rivers, both of them. I don't care how bad Paul George played. They had a lead in today, 21-point lead. They didn't lose because Paul George played like shit. They lost because Doc made the wrong decision, keeping in Reggie and letting him switch on Luka every goddamn time. And after the game, that's what he said. He was like, "Yeah, you always want to switch."
No, you don't.
Jeez.
Okay, bro. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I just-
generally speaking, switches have been proven to work better defensively.
Yeah, they work when you have good defenders.
Yeah.
Like if Patrick Beverly, like honestly, like for all the memes and shit, honestly, if Patrick Beverly's on Luka on that last shot, I'm not sure he makes it.
Ooh,
And even
bro.
if
To be
even
honest,
if
I'm
Pat
not
Bev, or even if Luka gets the shot off on Pat Bev, you live with that. Honestly,
Yeah, it's like, but you don't switch Reggie Jackson on him.
like if it's the same thing. Like why would Luka's 6'7", Kawhi is 6'7", and if you
6'9".
watch the, he's 6'9".
Yeah.
I think he's 6'8". Y'all are both capping.
I think he's 6'7".
He's not 6'7".
I mean, we're not going to debate Kawhi's
No,
height
no, stop,
to
stop.
run on the podcast.
No.
We
Either
Okay,
way,
the point is-
Kawhi
the
should
point
be
is-
on Luka.
My point is, like, if you watch the game when Kawhi was on Luka was
6'7".
I told y'all.
What? Okay, whatever.
When Kawhi was
He's
on
Trez's
when
6'4".
Kawhi was on Luka today, like you could tell Luka was having at the
Obviously.
very least he was like he
So-
had to work hard for his
Yeah.
shots. When Reggie Jackson's guarding him, Luka literally sauces him up every goddamn time.
And it's just the most frustrating thing about this series was that Doc made the correct adjustments in Game 3, and they won that game handily. And he just totally went away from it in Game 4, which is like
not to
inexcusable.
also not to mention, I mean, the Mavs weren't even at full strength today. They didn't have Chris
Yeah.
Kristaps.
Kristaps is kind of like
He still does the pump faking from too far. He's gotten a little bit closer to the basket when he pump fakes, so I'll give him that. But like,
instead of 35 feet, he's 30
It's
feet.
so
no,
weird.
no, he was
The Mavs
like
always
3 feet
see-
behind the
God.
3-point line when he pump faked.
I don't
I
know.
was laughing so much when I saw
There's
that.
no, I know I'm shitting on my team right now. There's no audio, but I am wearing the Clipper hat to show I still support
No
my
video.
squad. But
There's
I mean,
no
no video.
video,
My
yeah.
bad. What did I say?
Audio.
No, there's no
But,
video. But
That would totally
Honestly,
defeat the purpose
hey,
of a podcast. With no audio, just a silent podcast.
I still think Clippers win at 6. I hope, but holy shit.
Nah, I still think. I mean, I don't know how many games, but I still think the Clippers pull out this series. I just think it's
Yeah.
been a rough coaching series for Doc Rivers, and like Alex said, I don't understand why a coach would ever go away from something that works.
And Luka's just special, man. Luka's
Yeah,
like
you got to give
something
a lot
else.
of credit to Luka.
But hey, you know what? I don't want to talk, I don't want to talk any shit about the Clippers.
Go
But
ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
because I talk shit about Lakers getting Kawhi, and we know how that ended up. And when I don't talk shit, like, we actually do better. So but I will say, I'm just very proud that the Clippers weaknesses are being exposed right now. We like that very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anyways,
Their weakness
I don't
is
even
their
think
head
it's a
coach. It's not even a
weakness,
weakness. It's
yeah.
just Doc not using his players correctly.
It's something so fixable. He just needs to someone needs to tell him.
but
Alex
that
needs to make the call.
I literally said in the group chat, like before Game 3, I was like, Landry Shaman needs to start and Zubac needs to get more minutes. And that literally
Yeah, I know.
happened, and they fucking won.
They did it.
They
did
did
it
it.
Game 3, and they won easily.
Yeah. Well.
So what? Well, I mean, okay. So, anyways, just closing thoughts. I think that series has been really competitive. It's been really physical, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I
So-
like seeing the Luka battles.
Yeah.
Luka's.
I want to know. I don't want to be that guy.
Best 21-year-old ever.
No, easily. But like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy to be like, I don't know if you would do this with a crowd and everything. But in Staples Center, for the Clippers game,
Listen,
They could
it's different if Clippers have Game 6 or Game 7 at Staples versus the bubble.
yeah.
Like, it's just different.
Every series is different if there are
Everyone's
home
different.
games.
No, all right. Moving on. Do we have anything for the culture? I know we
do
have one
we
thing.
have a few things. I just want to. Apparently, just some news. Masai Ujiri. There was that whole thing with like the body cam. I haven't been following it too much, but it's just very weird. But all I know is that Masai didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And he's about to get a fat bag
Mm-hmm.
from the countersuit that he claimed
I
he
hope
filed.
So, bro. He deserves it. That's not acceptable.
I don't even understand. But and then we had so strange. George Carl went off on Twitter.
Mark Jackson.
on Mark Jackson.
Did you see what he said the next morning, though? He was like, I had a couple of gin tons. That's what he said.
I love how George Carl's like 69. He's just on Twitter.
George Carl.
And Mark Jackson didn't even say anything that bad. He just said Melo didn't try on defense in Denver, which he didn't. And George Carl just flamed Mark Jackson.
Yeah, he said something
He
like.
said when you left, they became a dynasty.
So, how many teams did I leave?
Yeah,
that
how
when
many
I leave,
teams
they
did I
became
leave
a
that became
dynasty?
dynasties?
That was
so
fun.
funny.
And then Skip Bayless. Are we
Dame
gonna mention
time?
anything?
That-
Dame time?
Yeah, Dame time was not.
Skip Bayless needs to chill out.
Hey, he was right though. I mean,
That
it's
was
factual.
that was pretty. Skip Bayless had this tweet last night after the Game 3 of the Laker game, because the only person he hates more than LeBron is Damian Lillard, and
It's
he
just
just
because Damian Lillard actually decided to like say something and speak up, unlike everyone else he talks shit about.
yeah.
Hey man,
And then
Skip ain't saying nothing wrong though.
Skip Bayless he said Dame time and then put like a whole bunch of question marks. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But so nothing important for the culture except for the one thing. Today is August 23rd, 2020, which would mean that today would have been Kobe Bryant's 42nd birthday, which is
Happy birthday, Kobe Bean.
happy birthday, Bean, and rest in peace.
And I'm pretty sure isn't tomorrow Mamba Day? Isn't that a thing they have?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Lakers are gonna wear their
So-
black jerseys.
Yeah,
although
that's a good call.
you guys are gonna listen to this tomorrow on Mamba Day, just know that I don't know, we're appreciating him each and every day on his birthday, on Mamba Day, and every day in between. I don't know. To me, it's just like a really
Yeah, no
Weird.
matter who you root for, the impact he had on LA is undeniable, and the world really in basketball terms.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what it is. I've said everything I needed to say about Kobe's death, but it's just one of those things that's like, why did that happen? You know, and there's really no good reason. It's a really hard thing to cope with, but either way, I mean, it really started off a really shitty year.
Yeah.
Is there anything else going on besides that? Oh, pandemic.
Convex.
No, man, but I mean, Kobe was my favorite player. Is my favorite player, and you know, it's just it's tough. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyways, that'll do it for this podcast.
Culture.
For the culture, for Contested, for everything. And we just want to say one more time, happy birthday, rest in peace, Kobe, rest in peace, Gigi, and everyone else on that helicopter. And we pray for their families and everything. But if you guys heard anything that you disagree with, go ahead and contest it. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.